好，各位同学，大家午安。那欢迎大家今天中午来参加这场昆士兰大学、澳洲昆士兰大学双联1+1学位的说明会。那我相信这个双联学位，因为在我们学校已经行之有年了，其实这个合约到现在已经运作了18年的时间，所以对我们学校来讲是一个历史很长，然后成效非常好的一个双联学位。所以我想今天大家会来听说明会，一定是对这个双联学位很感兴趣。那过去这2年疫情期间，我们其实每年都有办说明会，但都在线上。那终于这个疫情慢慢终于要摆脱它了。我们今天这个远从澳洲昆士兰大学的 Michael Chan 他是负责我们淡江大学双联学位的经理，他今天也来现场为我们进行这场说明会，然后他会为我们介绍 UQ。然后也会告诉大家将来在课程上奖学金方面，还有申请的时程，还有一些要注意的地方，都会在今天的说明会来跟大家做说明。那当然，今天说明会还有一个最重要的，就是我们会留一些时间来让大家提问。因为我相信大家应该也对这个学位，还有怎么样去提申请，还有具备什么样的条件，有一些好奇的地方。所以我们赶快，今天时间很短，因为中午短短不到1小时的时间，我们赶快来把时间交给 Michael Chan。我们先掌声欢迎一下。
Thank you so much. The last time I was in Tamkong University, that is in March 2019. So that means I haven't been here for the past 4 years. I'm very delighted to be here after COVID-19. Our border has been open for more than I think 6 months, and then also your border is very open, and then I can see that yesterday I flew here from Eva Airline. There were 2 airlines actually between Brisbane and Taipei. So direct flights are very, very frequent. And to tell you the truth, that Queensland has a very in-depth linkages with Taiwan. Back in 1985, when Taiwan's economy is booming, and a lot of people chose Brisbane as their migration destination. So that's why we have been looking to extend or maybe maintain the relationship, especially for TKU. TKU is our first sister partner and in Taiwan. So as Professor Lin already mentioned, we have been seeing your students for the past 18 years. And then right now, at this moment, about 90 students, graduated from our 1+1 program. So it is not like, this is a new program or maybe some program that you haven't known for some time, but we have been, cooperating with each other for more than 18 years. And I've been staying in University of Queensland in this role for the past 15 years. So, and then I've been coming back and forth and then traveling, between Taiwan and Brisbane for more than 20 times. So I really would like to use this opportunity to give you some idea, and then to say that, a lot of students actually benefited from this program. Whether you will consider as one of the stepping stones to go to other countries, or whether you will consider this as one of the qualifications that you would like to bring back to Taiwan and to increase your career development as well. So without much ado, and then I would like to just introduce today's topic. You see that we have quite a few topics today to cover. First, we would like to show you the existing students in TKU, and then how fabulous they enjoy their study, and then they just came last July, so that is 1 year ago. And then when the door is just open, and then they can come to study, offline in our campus, because for the past 2 or 3 years, actually, some TKU students still, study, even though they don't like it, but they still would like to consider that as one of the selling points for their career. So they still maintain some of the students doing our degree. And then we will briefly talk about our ranking, not just University of Queensland's ranking, and also our subject ranking as well. And then to introduce some of the articulation programs for your master degree, and how 1+1 works. How actually you can find the relevant courses in your first year of TKU study in your relevant department, whether it be Department of Business Administration, Department of International Business. We recently see a lot of students from the Department of Management Science, and also Department of Economics and Department of Industrial Economics. And so we have quite a lot of, we have about 9, departments that we link, study from the 2 departments that we have the original linkages with, like the Department of Economics and Department of International Business. So you can see that, our relationship gradually grow from, the 2 departments that we have the linkages with to the current, 9 departments that we cover. And how do you apply? Everything is done online. So the process is very streamlined. You don't have to go outside to get your documents certified, things like that. Everything done, in the partner university, especially in your College of Business and Management. And we have, developed the strategic partnership since last year. So, and every student, so long as you go through this 1+1 articulation, we will give you 25% tuition fee waiver. So that is 1/4 of the tuition fee waiver. So that means compared to other international students, you will have less tuition fee to pay. So that is one of the benefits from this program. But I'll talk about it briefly. So for the past 1 year, and then all the students coming in, so they got 25% tuition fee waiver for the duration of their study, not just once off. And of course Q&A. So these 2 students actually are the most active students from the last 8 students. Last year we have 8 students coming to study with us, and 2 of them are actually from the relevant department. So this Teresa is from your Department of Information Management. Normally, Department of Information Management will articulate to our information systems and accounting, finance, those areas. But actually, this student chose to study marketing under our Master of Business. So what she find out from our degree is that our degree is very how can I say, combination of the theory, because one thing you have to do in your future degree is to provide solutions to the companies. That is one of the benefits of our management students. The management students understand the process, operations of all the business, and then communicating with the other outsiders, and then also trying to provide solutions to the problems they are faced with. So that's why one of the biggest strong points for management students is to understand how you can do analytical analysis, as well as conduct research methods. So those are actually the theory based. Theory is also from the practical elements, because that is the summing up of the practical project. So also we provide a lot of practical elements in the class. We invited the industry people to give you the updates about what is happening at the moment, as well as we will have some kind of placement internship for the students to look for and complete. So, and the other students chose the very challenging supply chain management. We are not very good at supply chain management. We only have a couple courses in this area. You can see that because of Australia, although we have a lot of resources, but we are not traditionally trading economy, not like Taiwan. So, but actually we partner with MIT. So MIT provided the additional supply chain courses. They have 5 courses online plus the comprehensive exams. So the students can actually do the supply chain MicroMaster with MIT online and transfer the credits into our remaining Master of Business study. So that way, this student actually get the benefits of our studying with the MIT, as well as studying with us as well. But studying with us is totally offline, but the MIT components will be done on online. So before she came, she already started these MIT courses. So the MicroMaster for MIT is can be taught in your spare time. So you don't need to physically in our campus, but of course you can also enjoy the online study as well as the resources we provide in our campus, right? So that's why the students have a very good time management. Before she came, she already done half semester with MIT, and now finishing our degree in the last semester at the moment, for 1 year, and then trying to completing the MIT at the same time. So then graduated, with the Master of Business in Supply Chain Management under this the University of Queensland's qualification. So what she finds is that because we are very diverse, if you look at our cohorts, they can be from Southeast Asia, Indonesia, Vietnam, Malaysia, Singapore, Chinese mainland, India, and other countries as well. So what they like to do is everybody actually, is not by the country, is not studied by the country or by international students, things like that. Everybody is mixed up, with the domestic student, with the other international students, so long as you chose the right course. So for teaching one course, actually we have different timing, so you have a lot of flexibility in arranging your time schedule. That is the most challenging part as well, because for a lot of students in Asia, every schedule or timeline is set by the university already. So this course has to be done on the morning, on the afternoon, things like that. But in UQ, one course you can have about maybe 4 or 5 different timings. Maybe it can be done in Monday, or maybe at night, or maybe in the morning or lunchtime, whatever you like. So some of the students chose to squeeze every courses and tutorials and lectures into maybe 3 or 4 days, so that he or she can have maybe 1 more extra day to study, for their part-time job or maybe other activities, so that they can actually fully take advantage of this overseas study. So time management is what this student is very, very strong in. So coming back to these students are studying with UQ, and then UQ, as you know, that we have more than 100 years of history, and the capital city of Queensland, and we have 6 faculty. The faculty you will be studying is the Faculty of Business, Economics and Law. We call it BEL, Bell faculty. So because Business, Economics and Law, the initial is BEL. So the biggest faculty, we have about 13,000 students. The whole campus actually has about 50,000 students. And then we about 25% of the total population of the campus. But we also have other institutes. So that's one thing good about UQ is that you can, in the future, there are a lot of disciplines mixed up together. Cross-disciplinary study is what you have to be good at in the future, not just focusing on business. But some of the majors you will be focusing on, but sometimes you mingle with the students from other areas. And you know that we are very famous in the ranking, so that's why every subject, actually we will rank about maybe top 50 or top 100. And those students are actually from all over the world. So that is the beauty about studying in the top university, that you can have some kind of brain interactions, like doing some new projects and startup, think about new ideas, things like that. You rely on other faculty students because, for example, if you like to make the prototype, you rely on engineering students and some of the chemical, students, and also, nanotechnology, things like that. So they are actually available in our university. So, but you understand how the business works. So that's the beauty of management students. You understand how this works and how actually pitch the proposal and then to attract the attention of the future ventures or maybe companies, things like that. So that is why we list out the research excellence. But because we are good at research, we feedback those research outcomes to the classes. So that's why we are providing up-to-date contents, and also inviting the industry to give the the real case studies for the students. And so that's why we have won more teaching national teaching awards than any other Australian universities. So not just good at research, good at ranking, but also in teaching as well. But we recently have a lot of work integrated learning. I'll talk about this a little bit later. So the whole student experience, we have a lot of events by the university as well as the student association. If you want to fully make the most of our time schedule, so every day you'll be very busy as well. So this is the Grey Court. I'll show you some picture. This is the centerpiece of the whole campus, like a crescent, shape, like a moon shape, but in half. And then original campus is just like that big, but we later on keep building the the schools and other departments surrounding this kind of Grey Court area. But this Grey Court area has the largest sandstone building construction. So that we have a group of Australia has a group of 8 universities, the 8 most comprehensive and then research funding most universities. So they accounted for 70% of the research funding for all of the universities in Australia. So we are the only group of 8 universities. So, but all group of 8 universities have this kind of local sandstone as the construction materials. But we have the largest construction buildings from 1930s built all the way to 1970s. So you will see how fabulous this kind of traditional building is. But we also one thing good about Brisbane is that city and nature are merged together seamlessly. So likewise in our UQ we have the lake area. Actually, the Brisbane River, cuts through the city and then flows through our campus as well. So if you would like to come to our campus, you can actually come to our campus by ferry, from city all the way to our last stop. So the last stop is the University of Queensland stop. So you will never miss our stop. And you can see that over there, there's so here is the city. So the Brisbane River is just like that, and then meandering all the way here, and this area is the sea. So we can call ourselves the sea city as well as the river city. So you can go to the port, the Brisbane port, in 30 minutes, and up north that is the Sunshine Coast, very famous Sunshine Coast. A lot of Caucasian people went there for the holiday. And on the north, 1 hour by car, that is the Gold Coast. And then you have a lot of theme parks like Movie World, Sea World, Water World, and those theme parks. So you can see a lot of Olympic style sports facilities. We have this track and field athletic center. We have 20 tennis courts. We have soccer ground here, and then we have also this kind of rugby, football, court, and we have the Olympic style swimming pool here. So this is the lake area. So you can see that a lot of sports facilities and indoor facilities. You have a lot of sports club as well. And I think in 2032, Brisbane will be holding the Olympic Games, the Summer Olympic Games, and there will be the venues for the Olympic, competition in our campus. Back in 2000 when Sydney organized the Olympic Games. Actually, Italian team actually chose UQ as the warming up places before they went to Sydney for competition. So you can see that a lot of facilities you can actually enjoy a lot of community services here. So Brisbane, this is the Brisbane location. You can see that is to the east side, but up north, compared to Sydney and Melbourne that maybe you are familiar with. And then we are the third largest city in Australia, and also the Queensland is the second largest state in Australia. The largest state is West Australia. So both states has a lot of resources like minerals and all those agricultural products as well. So that's sports and sunshine, which we price ourselves in. So this is the whole thing. You can see this is a recent photo, and this is the Queen's Wharf, cultural area. So normally, because back in 1985, we hold the World Expo in Brisbane. That's why Brisbane became famous from the World Expo. And after the World Expo was completed, actually we turned the south side of the river into a cultural precinct. So you have the cultural center, you have the performance arts center, you have the modern arts center, also the Queensland State Library. But here we have only some office building, but now they turn this one, they are building a lot of construction because of the Olympic Games and also the future development of this city as well. So we have the light rail being built at the moment, so a lot of job opportunities because the city is fast developing itself. So in the end, actually they already have built a bridge from here all the way to South Bank area, the traditional cultural center. So then good for the future business. After this cultural precinct is built, there will be like 4 5-star hotel or 6-star hotel, including the Rosewood Hotel, that maybe you are familiar with as well. So this is the Queensland, government's building. So I don't know whether you know it. The recent Time magazine actually, have this kind of, world's greatest places in 2023. If you check the Time, website, magazine website, Brisbane actually is one of those 50 recommended, world greatest places, this year. So you will understand that, they nominate ourselves because, we are very good at sunshine and sports activities, and we also have a lot of, very good restaurants, at the moment. A lot of restaurants from Melbourne and Sydney move all the way to Brisbane because they have more creativity and more customers, very young and modern to appreciate their, specialty. So, so this is the latest, ranking. And for the sunshine, we have 300 days of sunshine. So very rarely you will see the rain and cloudy days. So that's why people love to do outdoor, activities like sailing, swimming. We build our swimming beaches, along the South Bank because we think that 30 minutes to drive to the beach is too long, and then we want to, step to the beach, right away. So that's why, they build, the man-made beach free of charge, and then you can freely, swim in the large areas of the man-made beach along the South Bank area. So this is the Brisbane's short film. a city life, beach, sunshine, water, and all these, elements. So that's why we are very good at tourism. So this is a live scene, and then we have this here. We have our customs house, purchased by University of Queensland, and then you know that we have the city campus and actually built from the renovated from the original bank. So that is very old, about 100 years, history, things like that. And customs house usually the customs, and then renovated as well, and then build our convention or maybe some events, places, wedding places, things like that. So you can all enjoy those, facilities by University of Queensland. So this is the, the view of the river as well. But let's move on to the rankings. And this is the latest ranking. The highest one is from the National Taiwan University ranking, last year. So ranked 33. And then Times Higher Education rank as 54, and we are, most likely, we are between, this kind of range, like top 50 universities. And look at our ranking in business economics. You can see that in 2022, Times Higher Education World University Subject Rankings ranked us #1 in business and economics offering and 39 in the world. So that one is very, very relevant to your study. And also hospitality is #3 and also #8 in Shanghai ranking as well, and also 31st in the world. This is #9 in 2022, but in 2023 we are #8. And our business management QS world ranking is top 100, accounting 53 by the QS. So you can actually look at different ranking or different subject ranking. We are always in top 50 or top 100. And also the postgraduate programs. Most likely you will articulate one of those two programs, like Master of Business and Master of Commerce. For economics, many people choose Master of International Economics and Finance program. But this program have 2 years and 1.5 years, duration. 1.5 years duration is for those students graduating from the bachelor in the same discipline. For example, if you did, bachelor degree in marketing, but you would like to study advertising in our master degree, so then you can go into our 1.5 years, program. Instead, you did the arts degree in your bachelor. So totally no business, management, foundation. Then you have to do 1 semester extra business foundation. So that is why 1.5 years will be increased to 2 years. And each semester we teach 4 courses. So 1 year we teach 8 courses, and then 1.5 years normally is 12 courses, and 2 years 16 courses. What normally TKU students should do is to do 4 courses in your first year of the master degree. So the 4 required courses that we list for each department, and then by doing those 4 courses, you transfer the credits of 8 unit points, because each course have 2 unit points, transfer to our 12 courses. So that means that from 12 minus 4. Then we have only 8 courses to do. So that's why 1 plus 1. So 1 year is 8 courses. So that is how it works for 1 plus 1. But what if the student from the different background, like Bachelor of Arts, or maybe Bachelor of Engineering, Bachelor of Science, right? Those students then have to go to 2 years degree in order to make the 1 plus 1 work, because our 1 plus 1 technically is for the same discipline graduates. But if you are from the non-same discipline background students, then we have to find, maybe instead of 4 courses, we need to find 8 courses, right? Because from 16 minus 8, then you will have 8 courses remaining in our UQ. The maximum credit we can give is half of the degree. You can't just say, oh, can we transfer more than like 12 courses or things like that. You can't because because otherwise we are selling our degree, right? So we are actually requiring the student to at least spend half of the degree with us so that you can claim our UQ degree. So half of 2 years is 1 year, that is 8 courses. That means in your first year's design, you have to choose 8 courses that we recognize in your department. So that is more challenging. Normally, maybe you can find 6 courses or 5 courses, may not be 8 courses. But in any way, because we calculate the courses, calculate the tuition fee according to the courses. So the fewer courses you do in UQ, then you save a lot of tuition fee. So that is how it works. So for entry requirement, we only look at your bachelor degrees performance, because we consider 4 years bachelor degree very important for our master, longer. So you can see students' performance from the bachelor degree. So and then 4.5 is our grading scale. That is because our grading scale is 7 points, is a full mark, 4 is a pass. So what is equivalent to 4.5 in terms of 100 points, 60 is a pass? It's about maybe 67. Okay, so it is doable. It's not that very demanding, because our domestic student normally is like 4.5. So that's why if you have bachelor degree GPA 70 out of 100, normally you can beat our GPA requirement. And then how about IELTS? IELTS we require 6.5, no subband lower than 6. Of course, you can have the TOEFL. The TOEFL is total score is 87, writing is 21, and then other subband is 19. So you can take either one of those popular English exams. Of course, you have to study 1 year with the master degree that you are interested in the TKU departments, and then transfer. You have to do those 4 required courses. So that is how it works. So if you can't meet our English entry requirement, we do provide bridging English program from 10 weeks all the way to 30 weeks. But when you do the 10 weeks, that will take up half a year normally. So even though it is 10 weeks, but you have to prepare, you have to finish it. So by the time you finish it, already half a year is gone. So that is the downside of not meeting the English entry requirement at the first beginning, because you have to then sacrifice some of the tuition fee, because tuition fee is not cheap as well. And then also, some time. The time is the most challenging part. So I strongly suggest you to meet the English before you come to study with us. So what is the, so we have this kind of BEP extension. BEP extension means, if you fail the bridging English program in your first time, you still can have a supplementary exam for the second time. So that is how different it is. So I will explain the course structure. Master of Business. If you are from the same discipline background, you don't need to do those yellow foundation courses. So you're only starting from here. That is management communication, and then choose 5 courses for 1 major. And then the remaining courses will be your general electives. So that is how it works. If you don't have general electives transfer, then you can have up to 2 majors, for your degree. But normally, because for TKU, most of the students will have to transfer electives without credit to us. So the maximum major you can do is 1 major. So that's fine, because you can find the other courses in other major as your electives. So you don't have to complete another major. But in the meantime, so if you transfer the credit into us, you will you certainly, don't have the 2 years, post-study work visa, because, when the post-study work visa is the extra, benefits for the students who can do one single degree in Australia within 2 years. So because when you transfer the credit, it's already less than 2 years. So you can't just, have our degree as well as those, post-study work visa. So some of the students will choose to use working holiday visa in Taiwan to maybe stay 1 or 2 years in Australia. So Master Commerce is different. They have 4 foundation courses for the students without business background. And then they have to choose 6 courses as one major instead of 5 courses under our Master Business. For those Master Commerce, it's normally 3 areas: information system, professional accounting, and applied finance. But for information system, you have information system in our Master Business as well. The difference is different core courses and the electives. But the courses under that major is absolutely the same. It's just that to satisfy this major, you only do 5 courses. But if you go to this major in Master of Commerce, you have to do 6 courses. So that is the only difference between this major in 2 different programs. But anyway, so you can select second major or general electives. So that is how it works. For the MIEF, Master in International Economics and Finance, same 4 foundation courses for those students that don't have the economics background. And then you do 8 courses. This is the core courses plus electives, 4 electives. So 8 units. So for master articulation between TKU and UQ is that you have to study required courses in your department under the banner of College of Business and Management. And then you do another 1-year study. We have 2 intake. If you miss the February intake, and then you can go to our July intake. Most of the students actually will start in July because naturally transition from your normal, commencing time in September all the way to our July intake, because September to June is 1 year, and then you immediately start our July intake. So you can see we have a lot of majors, and quite a lot of students actually doing this organizational sustainability and innovation and entrepreneurship these few years, because those 2 majors are cross-disciplinary. So people find that they can learn a lot from this kind of 2 majors. And this is all the departments we can find the equivalency or the courses that you can transfer the credit to our study. So each MBA is matched into different programs, okay? So for example, this international business normally will go to Master Business, but for banking and finance, naturally will go to our Master of Commerce because they all focus on finance and accounting. And then also accounting is commerce, but some of the programs can actually go to different programs too. For example, information management, think about that student, Teresa, actually, doing our Master of Business instead of Master of Commerce. So, and then economics normally is to our Master of International Economics and Finance. And then industrial economics, some of the students will choose Master of Economics as a traditional economics degree. So management science, going to the business. And I know that, they have also English talk program in the management science department called Master in Business and Management. Previously, we have the students articulating from our Department of Statistics or Big Data into our program, but unfortunately this time we can't find enough sufficient credit. But for now we can't transfer the students, but we can look at the cases case by case. So for example, I give you some idea. you can see that, you know, for international business department, we can find 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 courses equivalent to our relevant courses in the major or in electives category. So normally, without looking at the detailed program planning, sometimes we have semester offering, we have prerequisite for the courses. Forget about those elements. Then normally you just choose any 4 courses from this list. Then you transfer to the relevant major in the program. So that is how it works. So same as Department of Business Administration, we can find 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you have to do those 4 courses. So when you go to the master degree, you choose those 4 courses first, instead wait until your last year. And then management science, and same as we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you can basically choose 4 out of 6. But if you are actually doing advertising, so this one you have to choose, because that way you will study. You have more rooms in your electives. So you then because you already studied 1 course in our 5 courses under this advertising major. So that is how you look at this kind of matching table. So if you have like human resources, you are interested in human resources, we do have quite a few Taiwan students that did human resources because they go to some kind of companies, and also the headhunter as well, the international headhunters. So but you can't do more than half of the courses in TKU to get that major. So for 5 courses under 1 major, the maximum you can do in TKU relevant to this major is no more than 2 courses. Because to claim 1 major, you have to have at least half of the courses done in UQ. So you cannot transfer more than 3 HR courses into our HR major into our master business, because the maximum is 5. So 3 is already more than half. So, but Master of Commerce, yes, Master of Commerce, then you can transfer up to 3, because the Master of Commerce has 6 courses as a major. So that is how it works. But if you are interested in innovation and entrepreneurship, you have to choose these courses. So the priority is to choose the courses that you are interested in for your major. Okay, and then this is the English talk, management science degree, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, same thing, 4 out of 5. And then this is 4 courses. You have no choices. You have to do those 4 courses, because otherwise you have missed, the credits into our, 6 months, 1 semester. So, and accounting, you have more choices, depending on whether you will be interested in those courses or not. And then, but accounting is interestingly, because they now require people to do accounting, finance, information system, these courses, whether you are from the same discipline or not same discipline. So that means you have to find these courses in your bachelor level or master level to transfer the credit, or maybe exempt you from doing this course. Otherwise, you have to do those 3 courses in our Master of Commerce degree. So unless you can spend more than 1 semester with us, otherwise it's very difficult to squeeze all these compulsory courses plus the remaining major courses within 2 semesters. So many people instead go to do our Master of Business, because Master of Business doesn't have a lot of core courses to do, because if you are from the business background. But I will leave you the program plan later on for you to have a look how you can transfer the courses, and then you just can cross out those courses that you've done in TKU. The remaining courses will be taught in UQ. So information management, you can do to either one of those programs, and economics, you have to do those 4 courses, plus the one of the course from these 2 courses. Any 3 credit point, any other 3 credit point in the compulsory required or elective list in the in your department of economics. So industrial economics is more complicated, so you have to require to do those 3 courses, and then there are some rules that you can do credit the 1 remaining courses from these 4 units electives list from the Master of International Economics and Finance. I will leave this PPT behind. You don't have to take the notes. And then I will leave you some content points in the future. For now, you only know that you have to do certain courses in your master degree. You don't have to drill down into this kind of detail. And then we also have this kind of line group for TKU past students, graduates, and existing students. So you can join our line group, and then you can communicate with me also in the line group, as well as your alumni, graduates, students, something like that. And then the tuition fee is about 45,000 Australian dollars. I think nowadays the exchange rate is 20 versus 1, right? So, but compared to the past students, actually you get more benefits because exchange rate is one of the lowest in the field history. In the past, they had like 25, sometimes 29. So that is essentially you already saved 1/3 of the tuition fee from the past. And not to mention you have the scholarship for every single students. You don't have to apply. You just be included into the list supplied by Professor Lee. And application, everything is done in this website, apply.uq.edu.au, and then what you need to do is to supply any electronic, documentation, including your passport page, and then the bachelor degree award, academic transcript, as well as the master program transcript have to be certified by either Professor Lin or maybe the contact points in your department. But I think they are discussing about how to streamline this. Perhaps in the future there will be 1 contact point for all of the departments. So then you go to that contact point, and then that contact will give you the certification instead you're going out to look for notarial certification. And then the IELTS copy, of course, we don't need to certify IELTS. And then you go to our contact point, and then we will give you a code. The code will be inserted into your online application. That way, you don't have to be asked about the credit card to charge you about $100 to $150 for application fee. So no charge for your application. So that is why you apply from the partners. And then you don't need to provide everything. Many people will miss English because they're still testing their English, right? So we will give you the conditional offer first, condition on the English, and then once you satisfy the English, you uploaded a supplementary additional English document to the website. Then you don't have to receive another offer. We will just send you an email saying that you already met the all the condition. Then you pay the deposit. The deposit is about maybe 14,000 Australian dollars to hold the place. Otherwise, this place will be gone. So and then you pay the deposit, and then we will give you the electronic enrollment. And then with that electronic enrollment, then you can apply official student visa from our Home Affairs department. So then with that visa, then you can come to Australia to book your accommodation and also start your study. So that is how it works. Of course, you can go to our approved agent. near your home, near your city, things like that. But every document have to be certified by the College of Management, Business and Management. Okay, so before you go to the agent, you have to have your documents certified by the contact point in this college. And the scholarship is 25% for the duration of the study. These two students already get the 25%. And either you study with us for 3 semesters or 4 semesters, or don't want the credit. Some of the students don't want any credits, even though they study, the TKU, because they want to complete 2 years, post-study work visa requirement. So for those 2 years, we still give you full duration, 25%, tuition fee waiver. Okay, so that is your choice as well. So, and then we will actually welcome all these, scholarship people and also be involved into the special entrepreneurship program provided by University of Queensland, because we are a strategic partner. Okay, so we have 3, QR code for you to download. One is our, postgraduate mini guide. And then we have this kind of business school study plan for every single major. And then also economic school study plan for every single major without credit. But actually you can use that sheet to help you to plan your study plan, when crossing out those required courses that we require you to do in TKU. So that's the QR code. And feel free to join our TKU EUQ 1+1 group, or maybe you can line me, or maybe you can email me, and whatever you prefer to do. And then so that's about the whole presentation. Sorry to take up you much time today, but very glad to see all of you today. And now is the question and answer time. Yeah. Feel free to ask me in English, Chinese, things like that. Whatever language you feel free to choose.
好，那因为时间已经1点了，如果要上课的同学可以去上课。那如果没有课的同学有问题，现在可以提问。那提问的话，中文、英文都可以。好。